achieve success with Global.Media.com. Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with Global.Media.com. Then celebrate it with or without champagne.
Yay! We're here, Christina. We're here. I tell
We
you,
made it.
it's a close run thing. You know, we almost didn't. I almost didn't make it. I'm looking for my YouTube phone now. Damn. Okay, I'll dig that out, and I want to get started. No, I said drama, life. No, and I could see myself calling you and saying, Christina, we need to postpone. But I had to postpone my event earlier, so Paulette's event. And that's what I thought. Will I make it back for this one? Yeah, I should do. Like, I had an hour and a half, but then I was driving. The road stopped. Then I had to stop, and it's like, oh, here we are. But I'm here. We're here. Yeah. It's Monday. Some truth telling to our friends about how to really make it into your 9 to 5, right?
Yep.
Yes. How's your day been?
It's been busy, and I also had some challenges rescheduling some prior commitments. So I thought, is this going to work out? But how can we postpone an imperfect event, right?
I like that. I like that.
So, it doesn't have to be perfect. A few minutes late, it's all right. A few minutes earlier, it's all right. The important thing is that we are here to share with the community. And hopefully, some of what we say today helps somebody that is listening.
Yeah. I'm sure that, look, anyone who wants to get into being their own boss, they have to face some of the truths that we talk about, I suppose, right? You know, they're going to face some of the issues that we discuss, and like you say, if anyone takes something from what we talk about, then great. You know,
Exactly.
What we try and share is the hard lessons that we learned. You know, as people who are running their own business. You know, wouldn't it be nice if it was the way your business plan says? You know, you think it, you write it down, and then you start, and everything's perfect. Wouldn't it just, right? Yeah, the customers come, you deliver, and from there your revenue comes in, and you just carry on getting. You just, well, you don't get better because you're perfect already. You know, because you started when you were great, right? You know, and then from there on, the revenue just keeps coming in, keeps getting more and more. The customers are happier and happier. Yeah. And maybe your branding, your personal brand goes up as well every day, but it doesn't happen like that. I wish it did.
Yes. And there is also the opposite side of the coin. There are people that never start because they think it has to be perfect.
Yes, yeah, for
So
sure.
they think everything has to be in place before they share their idea or, they ask for help. This fear of failure or this desire to have everything in place even stops people from asking for help, which is that's the imperfect action that I would love to talk about today, because people are almost ashamed of having to ask questions, even within the LinkedIn community. Like, I should know this. One of the things that people, I had this question the other day. Somebody asked me, I see the polls, but I'm embarrassed. I don't know where the polls are, right? I also didn't know where the polls are. I thought, I asked somebody, how do you do the polls, right? Because, it's not like if you get a manual on day one. You have to play around with the tools that you have, and then you figure it out.
The fact is, no one knows everything. I think like my personal gripe, amongst other things, is people who do more training. And every time someone says that to me, I want to do another course. I don't know enough. Is what they're pretty much saying.
Mm-hmm.
As if one more course is going to give you everything you need. It's not. It's not. It never does, right? I think that's probably one of the biggest. And I know, you're into training. I'm into training, but I think there's a limit in terms of what you think one more course is going to do for you when it comes to entrepreneurship, right? So a lot of people will, they go on as if one more course is going to make them 100% better. It's not.
Mm-hmm. And also credentials that are not really recognized, but it makes them feel a little bit more secure before they call themselves a coach.
Yeah, no, well, I'm glad you raised that. See, I don't usually know when I was in a job, I use my credentials a lot more, right? So as an entrepreneur, I never, and I read, and I said I never used them. Not many of you know what my qualifications are, or Christina's for that matter. Does it really matter? No, of course not. I think it's your part. It's your personal qualities, your skill, your confidence, and maybe and it's your mindset really that people tend to buy into. Yes, you can call me Dr. Any if you want, but try not to. No, I probably won't let you because I'm not quite a doctor. But you know what, Christina? I was a doctor. I was a doctor for a few months, but I refused to be a doctor. I sent the award back to my university. I said no, I want a master's, not a doctorate.
Exactly.
Silly
So
me.
it varies.
That's silly me. So now I wish I'd kept it, but no, would it make a difference? Maybe it would now. But no, in terms of starting my business in 2015, I don't think it would have made a difference. It wouldn't have meant. I didn't know what I didn't know. I wasn't very good at what I wasn't very good at. And I've been running a business. It is a case of jump in and learn as you go. There's no other way of saying it, right? Take the leap.
Exactly.
If you mean everything you think on day one is not going to be what it is at the end of year one, let alone end of year 5. Everything's going to be so different, and that's a good thing. I think we have to evolve. We have to grow as people, maybe even as people who do what we do, who do that thing, right? So every business person has to literally change, and learn and adapt as we learn. But all the learning comes from doing half the time. It comes from doing, testing, trying, and then you find your place.
Mm-hmm.
I must say I didn't find my place. I didn't know. I really didn't know. There comes a moment when you really do feel like, okay, I have arrived. You start feeling like the imposter, that they're gonna find out what I don't know. As if it's some sort of big secret. I think I probably did find myself maybe a year ago. And that's after nearly 10 years of business, where I could actually think, okay, I am Any. I do what I do. I deserve to be given, the recognition for what I do, right? It's all of that. So
I
anyway,
think even the most confident person lives with insecurities.
I agree. Because no one knows everything, but I think we're very good at not pretending. We'll give other people the status of being all-knowing and perfect humans, right? You think that person who's hosting the other show, they must be so good. No, now I know better. I look at them now and like, okay, you're good at this, you're good at that. I might improve that if it was me, but I might change that if it was me. So I suppose where do you want to start the conversation? Where do you want to start, Christina? I don't know who's here yet.
Let's start here. We look at other people on on guests of podcasts, and we look for advice, and we look for the perfect advice. Yeah, when it comes to working with somebody or actually collaborating, uh, we want it to be authentic. And we know that authentic means not to be exactly 100% pristine, not to to speak imperfect English all the time, and because it almost looks like AI made it, wrote it for you, right? So, so look for the authenticity and the imperfect moments, and yet only perfection is gonna be able to launch our business.
Mm.
So that's really what I want to start.
Yeah.
No
Well,
one, no one has everything figured out on day one, and a lot of us have this desire to keep on learning, because it gives us some sense of security, and it makes us feel a little bit better, a little bit more secure, fortified in something. But there is also such thing as continuous learning, and on
which,
this platform.
which is a good thing, right?
Mhm.
I think that we have to keep learning, But I think your point earlier was, we can't let the need to learn, our curiosity to learn, to be better, stop us starting. So the problem is when we paralyze ourselves by thinking we don't know enough, and we must be perfect on day one. No one is, right? Even the experts are not perfect on day one. Yeah, we would say we will need the time to make mistakes. And again, maybe that's not another part of the conversation, Christina, where some people they don't want to make mistakes. They don't like anyone calling them out on anything. Yeah, I think if you're going to be an entrepreneur, I think you have to be prepared, to be vulnerable. Yeah, I'll tell you my main message today, Christina. The main thing I'll say today is, look, turn up and bring your character, bring your willingness to work hard, right? Bring your willingness to be humble. Now, bring your determination to succeed. I think that's enough for day one. That's enough to start. Everything else builds on top of that. So, if you say, I don't think you can start. Or maybe I'm saying many people use the "I don't know enough." I want everything to be perfect. I want all the stars to align from here, across the galaxy, as almost like rather than facing their fears, they hide it under, I don't think I know enough. I don't think I'm ready. I'll do it when I'm ready. What's that day? What are you waiting for? What do you think they're waiting for?
Well, sometimes, yeah, I don't know what they're waiting, but we all been there, I think.
Mm.
Before the same day, I just would like to say that we've all been there, and I think what we're waiting for is validation, and knowing that we're not gonna take a step like investing on something, for example, and then let go of it, or being the one person that doesn't believe enough in it to make it successful. And this is something, these are limiting beliefs, something that we carry with us from our childhood. So unfortunately, our parents scar us for life. So those limiting beliefs, it's not lack of confidence, but we all have a little bit of lack of confidence. Nobody is born, with a bag full of confidence, and carries it with them every moment of every day. So it just, I think what makes you decide is either a feeling that you cannot take this anymore, and you really gotta make something of these things that keeps rambling in your mind, or maybe it's momentum. You have a conversation with somebody, and all of a sudden you realize they're interested in what I'm saying, or it looks like if I'm helping somebody and it's working out, so perhaps I can help other people.
Mm.
So that momentum, and I call it also micro momentum, is the one that we need to hold on to and start taking imperfect action after imperfect action, one after another. And especially when we build our business starting out on social media, using social media landing pages such as LinkedIn, it's twofold. Okay, sure, you make a mistake, it's there forever, right? But also, it has to be visible to be there forever. But at the same time, you're building in public. So once you're a little bit more successful, you can encourage somebody else and saying, "Look, that's how I started. I had the ugliest website. I had the ugliest first post." Uh, and I think it's motivating to somebody else. The thing
Yeah.
that I would go ahead.
I agree with you. I agree. Hey, maybe that's the one difference between today and yesteryear. The fact that we're building in public. But I would say, if you're in business, everything you do is public anyway. Because you're serving customers ultimately, and those the first three interactions are going to be hard, horrible, challenging. Call it what you like. They're not going to be perfect. They're just not. I enjoy learning by doing. Yes, of course, we have to read and stuff. So I enjoy making mistakes. Not saying I wouldn't like to get it right. But I think we will have to grow. I say again, we have to improve. Over time, I think we learn to become the person who does what we do. If you're a shoemaker, the first pair of shoes you make is not going to be perfect. Of course, it's not. But I think we have to give ourselves a chance to be that shoemaker who makes shoes, and maybe the shoes have holes. I'm using an example, an analogy, right? Maybe the shoe has a hole or two, and the customer is annoyed. But over time we'll learn to improve everything we do, to improve our craft. And sometimes that takes years. Right? That's not always a bad thing. When I look around me, Christina, I see even big brands who still make mistakes every day. I'm sure you do too, right? The things that we pay for, the things that we order, things that we get. It's rare that they're perfect. So it's a bit quirky that we think that we must be perfect from day one. Sometimes even in year 5, you're still nowhere near perfection. If you were, then, or if you are, one, I applaud you. Two, I guess I would say, are you giving yourself space to grow? Many of our friends are here. Okay, so let me welcome them. I was just about to work to invite Linda. Who can I see on here? Yeah, there are people here. We're not alone, Christina. Sean, how you doing? I've missed you every weekend, Sean, because I haven't been able to listen to your success podcast, Success Blueprints Consulting Daily Power Boost podcast show. You can see the tabs open my screen at show. Welcome here. They're very nice. It makes 7-minute podcasts. They're very good. They're short enough not to annoy you, but he picks topics that are interesting. I'm always arguing with him. It doesn't know what I'm arguing. I listen. I'm like, Sean, I don't agree. Last time was burnout. I'm like, why don't we work first before talking about burnout? Hopefully you take it well, Sean. You always do, right? This is listening while driving. Cyrus, our podcaster in chief. Glad you're here. How are you? So, Utara, did I pronounce your name? Is it Pandya? The best pronunciation. I have no idea.
That is correct.
Utara, okay, excellent. Welcome. We haven't met, but great to meet you virtually. Well, you can see me. I can't see you, right? Philip, welcome. I don't think we've met either Philip, but Philip's in Toronto, in Canada. Linda is in Canada as well. Welcome, Linda. There's someone else on that, so there's other people here. So do drop us a message, my friends. Yeah. Now, I so was Christina. So was Christina. Tell us your story about your imperfect start. How's that? I can do other things while you do that.
Okay. Well, I was chatting about this earlier. When I decided to start sharing some of myself online, I came to it being really skeptical, not really to wanting. For years, I hated Facebook. Didn't want to do anything on Facebook. Uh, but on LinkedIn, I found out immediately that it was easier to find like-minded people, and at the time, there were a lot of micro communities buzzing around, so it was easy to start conversations. So I started just like that, really imperfectly, uh, doing posts without images, sharing, either the way I was feeling or what I was envisioning building, or even talking about uh, some of the things I was building at work. Uh, some of the ideas I had there, and perhaps I did not land so well at work, but I shared them with somebody else anyway, and see, if there was, if I could get some validation, really. So I was just curious to see if some of my rejected ideas of work were just they were just either bad idea, or they were not for the place where I was sharing them. So I realized they were not for the place where I was sharing them. And for how I say for about for nearly 15 years, and this is something that we were discussing earlier with Annie. For nearly 15 years, I've been I wanted to be in marketing, but I thought that I had to have a marketing degree. It wasn't until I looked at some other marketing professionals on LinkedIn that I realized they had a very similar background to what my background was, arts and letters and literatures. And I realized that, of course, I mean, sure, you can get a degree in marketing, but you still have to keep on learning, because things in marketing are changing so fast. So, no wonder it becomes a second career for somebody, or, you even if you went to marketing school 20, 15 years ago, you might not be as successful as somebody that either took a course or decided to teach themselves. So that's what I learned, that I had to keep trying, finding places where I could test my ideas, where I could test, my creativity. And I made friends, I made connections. And once I had a few of those on this very platform, I was able also to share stages with them. And all along, I've been, writing guides and putting together curriculums, because it was very much aligned with what I was doing at work. And I realized that what I really want to do is to teach other how to monetize their ideas, or to turn them into an e-commerce product. So that's how it started for me. And it morphed and changed and evolved in these last 3 years numerous times. First, it started, okay, let's teach you how to do e-commerce and how to make money online, which I still do. It's a big part of my background. And then it started into saying, okay, e-commerce is more than a shopping cart, and a product prototype. E-commerce is also sharing your knowledge, providing a service online. E-commerce is consuming content and monetizing your content. And so everything organically evolved, but it couldn't have organically evolved if I didn't say, okay, how does it work, right? Let's make our first post. Let's put a couple of photos there. Let's do my first mini video. Let's write an article. At the time, we had collaborative articles, which was really easy access. Now I think they've been outdated now. But let's share my 2 cents worth. And little by little, it took shape, and it took fire, and I'm here today. And I think it was now 3 months ago, I decided to move from doing this fairly part time into doing this full time. So I actually built my brand and the business that I operate now while holding on, I want to say, to my 9 to 5, probably a little bit too long. But that's what I needed, for me to be able to finally make the final decision. So, and that's also what we've been talking in this series here with Annie. Sure, you want to take the leap, you want to escape the 9 to 5, you want to become your own boss. It's possible, and it doesn't have to start perfect. It can start imperfect. My business started on a long train commute, 3 hours to be exact a day, an hour and a half each way. It kept going in late in the evening, and I operated most of it on weekends. All my clients were working with me on weekends when I was working my 9 to 5. And I needed to do all those imperfect actions, all those late night research, all those revising or pause because I misspelled something. I needed to do all that to begin building my brand. And it didn't have to be perfect. I tell my clients all the time, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to show up and see who your message resonates with. Because again, when it comes to analyzing ourselves, we think, I don't look quite right. It's not perfect. I need to sound a certain way. I need that additional certification. But in the end, when we're looking to collaborate with somebody or to approach somebody or to ask questions, we're actually not looking for perfections. We're looking to feel comfortable. We're looking for expertise, and we're looking to be convinced that this person could really help us. I've done it. I'm pretty sure Annie's done it in his, interactions here on LinkedIn. And that's what it is about. So if you have an idea, start sharing it. If you want to be a life coach, start doing life coaching on LinkedIn. Give advice, share, talk about a particular subject that you're interested in, and share your opinion. If you want to be a podcaster, well, go live. Go live on LinkedIn. Okay, it's not perfect. You can just say it is my very first LinkedIn live, and just do it little by little every day. And if you're not comfortable with it, we have places like StreamYard. If you're not comfortable going live, start by recording. That's also a possibility. And probably you will do 3 million recordings of yourself talking before you decide to publish it. But it's daily practice. They say practice make perfect, but really doesn't have to be perfect. So, if anybody here is not starting because, you think you need LinkedIn Premium, or you think you need a new banner, or you think you need this many followers before you can share that you are a business and you have a service to provide, really don't, because your personal brand don't wait, because your personal brand is built every day and is made out of little tiny actions that end up compounding. Just be sure that your integrity, what you stand for, remains aligned throughout. So the only instance where something like this could hurt you if you decide to switch things that are polar opposite. So say you're beginning to build a culinary brand based on cooking meats, and next month instead your brand it's all about being vegan. Those are the polar opposites. So and unless the story is that that was the biggest mistake you ever made, and now that's your why, and that's where you can spin it around, I guess, but you just have to make sure that you stay consistent. Why you're here, what you're looking to build, and because something like that, it's pretty clear. Somebody could probably say, oh, that didn't work out, so now they're trying to approach the vegan audience, for example. So we just have to be careful, to be consistent, not to pretend to be a different person that we really are, because everybody here has already a personal brand. Even if you have one follower or no followers, and this is your first day on LinkedIn, you still have your personal brand. It could be that somebody shared photos of you at an engagement party, or it could be that your old Facebook account, or it could be that there is nothing about you on online, and that's also your personal brand. But that's a good news, because when there is nothing about you online, now you can build it and you can control the narrative. You want to add anything, Annie? You're muted.
I like everything you said. Welcome, Cyrus. I do see you, my friend. I also see you, LinkedIn Angel. How are you? Long time no see, Marsha. So glad. I know it says Martha. Don't worry. If you don't know who Marsha is, then she's basically helping homeless people. That's what she started her charity to do that. And I said literally she was working before and then decides to go and save the homeless. So I'm sure this conversation means a lot. Now it matters to her. She gets it, but she had to start one day like the rest of us, right? But and I love how you say, we've changed our business so many times along on the journey, right? So when I started off, I was going to do marketing. I was going to do social media posts. I was going to do websites, ads. I suppose eventually when I started, I realized I did the marketing courses, by the way. I got advanced diploma. I was like, that's enough. Social media, I'm like, that's enough. No more. I don't need a degree in marketing, right? Because I was doing marketing 20 years ago when I first left uni. So I knew I had some of the basics. I think we need the basics of what our industry is, right? And I think we need that fire in our belly. Again, you said that literally start and learn as you go, right? If you want to be a coach, be a coach. Do coaching. Don't wait until I don't know what you're waiting for otherwise, right? Find people to coach. If you can make a difference to them, then I think you do that thing that we all try to do in business, which I think is the most important thing, right? I don't know if that's your sound or mine, but it's fine. We'll go. I think ultimately the happy place is that Christina. Okay, you'll find every so often. So Lisa, welcome. Just stopping by to say hi to my LinkedIn peeps. Lisa shows tomorrow night. I don't the time thing, Lisa. The time thing's a problem. Our clocks have gone backwards an hour. Your clocks are still the same. So I hope our friends they look closely enough to see that, we're going. I think are we an hour early? Yeah, in UK we're an hour earlier than we were before. So welcome. But now, Christina, I think that people don't realize that what we say we want to do on day one is not what we're going to do at the end of year one. But the only way we're going to evolve that and create that thing that we actually do is by, daring to create our own way. I talk about this very often. It's not what you do, is what is your way of doing it. Anyone can do social media. The social media company that's going to work, it means you have to create your own unique way of doing social media that others don't do. That's the reason why you have a business, right? Your own unique way. but that unique way could take years to come because it's a mix of those imperfect learnings, imperfect experiences, where you learn and then decide, okay, I'm not doing that. I'm going to do more of that. And then it's like cooking a meal where you eventually you work out your own recipe. Otherwise, there's no point in being in business, right? Let's hear from Cyrus and Marsha. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, Marsha. And I'd love to hear your journey because now you and we haven't talked for a very long time, right? So I'm glad you're here. Mr. Cyrus, talk to us. Like, what's your journey been like? What can we learn from you?
Hi, Annie. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are based now.
Yeah, thank you.
What
Thanks
can
for
you what can you learn from me? You can you can learn a few things from me, but are you going to apply it? That's the
me
question.
personally, yes, of course.
No, it was a question for
Every
everybody.
word you say is gospel, my friend. Every word you say, I
So,
hang by every word. And if I don't do as you say, I hurt
uh,
myself, right? All right.
you know,
Go on.
yeah, I
Share it
am.
with us.
Sorry, I'm being an idiot. So, we all learn stuff, but are we going to apply those things that we've learned? That's the main question. Yeah, we sit down and watch what these amazing people on the stage are saying. Um, when I say amazing, it's not just for no reason. Um, um, there's a reason behind it. These people have gone through like thin and thick of it, right? Um, yeah, my journey has had ups and downs, but most of the downs were when I was scared. I was scared because I was thinking, so what if I create that video or create that piece of audio and people don't like it? So that set me back for like 4 or 5 years, honestly. I have paid my dues, right? I have paid my dues. Um, what do I mean by I have paid my dues? You have to um, go through the journey, right? And spend time on your business idea or whatever idea it is, right? Spend your time on it, and then you'll realize the hardest bit after everything is said and done, like 5, 10 years down the line, right? You will find out the biggest problems you had were the internal ones, not the external ones. Most of the unkindness came from your own heart towards you. People weren't unkind to you. People are just thirsty and hungry for your product. They have a problem, they want a solution. Do you really think um, I care about the doctor who's going to save me from a heart attack? Like how they look? I don't think so. At that moment in time, I'm desperate for help, right? Or that firefighter was running towards fire, unlike everybody else was running away from it. That firefighter was running towards fire. Do you really think people care how they look? No, they want to survive, right? So whatever you're creating, if it helps people thrive or survive, that product will sell. Don't worry about the way you're presenting it. The way you're presenting it is the way you're presenting it. Let the product speak for itself. Let the service speak for itself. Things go wrong when your inner fears link hands with your inner critic. That's when you're totally and royally screwed. It's happened to me. It happens to me from time to time. Obviously, I'm only human. But I posted something in the chat earlier saying every Halloween we come out as superheroes, but our fears dress up at perfectionism. So, in other words, perfectionism is your mind telling you, I'm scared, help me, right? Sometimes your mind helps you, other times you need to help your own mind, yeah, help your own brain. Brain's uh, duty is to keep finding patterns around you to help you survive. Your brain's job is not to keep you happy. Brain was not given to us to make us happy, right? And the purpose of life is not being happy all the time. The purpose of life is to live life and experience it because it's a limited number of days that you're on this planet. There's no guarantee when you will be plucked away, when you will be pulled out, right, out of this game. So enjoy it and don't be scared. And more than 80% of your fears never materialize anyway. So if you're worried about people judging you and stuff, yeah, of course they judge you. That's their job. I don't think you should join them, because they're going to judge you anyway. You judge everyone, don't you? You judge all the products. That's how you buy or don't buy them, right? So don't be scared of being judged, because you will get judged anyway. And people who value you, they will buy into your ideas. They will buy your product. They will buy your service. So go through the journey, and it's a fantastic journey. It is difficult, but well, then again, life is difficult, right? Life is going from one difficulty to another. And by the way, you are worth making progress, and you only happy when you're making progress. You're happy for a few months or a few weeks when you buy a new house, when you buy a new car or whatever. But the only thing that makes you happy and that makes you feel joy is progress. Okay, so focus on progress, not on criticism or fear or what's going to happen in the future. You can't control the outcome. People go through anxiety when they try to control the outcome. The fears inside you tells you you can't control the outcome. And guess what? You can't. So let it go. Thank you.
Well said, my friend. And I think when your inner critic meets your inner fears, yeah, that's the wall that we're trying to break past, right? I said thanks to Cyrus and many good things. Technical skills, they're important. Don't get me wrong, but they're not the most important thing. It's you. Bring you and bring some fire in your bed, some enthusiasm to learn, and just to serve someone. Start serving. This Marsha, I know that's what you did as well, right? But we'll come to Marsha in a second. So, Christina, if you want to comment on what Cyrus said, then please feel free.
Yes, I love what you said, Cyrus. Definitely, we all much happier when we can see ourselves making progress, and that's what we really want. We always say it's not the destination, it's the journey. The moment we see ourselves making progress, we also build on those micro momentum that really help us, getting the next boost of energy that we need to go one step further. And then you also touched on something about not caring about how you look, right? That people say, "Are you vain or something?" But that stops so many people, and it's not because they look bad or they don't. It's something internal. It's not feeling secure, not feeling good enough. But then again, you described it beautifully. Nobody cares how the doctor is gonna save your life looks, or the firefighter looks. So think about your message, and I think if your message really helps somebody, you look beautiful to them.
Wow,
You're
that was
muted.
fantastic.
I agree with you 100%. I think even looking unpolished at the beginning can have its own benefits. I always say there's someone for you to help at your level, whatever level you're at, and maybe whatever price you are too, right? I think when you're starting and you look not so confident, not like a doctor, so to speak, right? The people that you can help will come to you because they can see that you're just starting. Maybe they got a smaller budget, so they will come to you because they'll know that you are on their level. Whereas they won't come to someone like me or Christina because they're like, "You too expensive. You know too much. I'm not paying you." Right, which is fine. You don't know what you don't know what we charge. I'm saying, but people will think like that, right? I say no. I think when I was less experienced, I attracted those who didn't want to pay much. Because I didn't come across as a polished anything. I was just me. I was me who was keen to do what I do. And then from there, with time, you get more refined. Anyway, so let's stop talking. Let's talk to Marsha. So I'm keen to learn from her story. I should start. How are you doing? How are you doing? It's so long.
Yeah, I know. Hello, Christina. Hello, Cyrus. How are you doing? And thank you for your kind words
Hi,
today.
how's it going?
I'm doing well. Like I said, I found my place in the world. So I'm enjoying being there until I have to move again to next level, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad to stop in, and I needed to hear some positive words. So thank you, Cyrus, for uplifting humanity, and Christina and Annie. It was really nice to walk into some really encouraging words for anyone that's starting a business or maybe wanting to start a business. It is a journey. It is a journey. But it's not a journey that that you can't move forward with. My journey, I'm consistently growing. Started a program here in California, and you know, other situations have come up because of that. But also along the way, I am a founder of Connect Impact Hub, which is an organization that's on a mission to ending homelessness. And it's not an I thing, it's an us, because it was founded through through LinkedIn. I apologize. Through LinkedIn, through this community right here. And the beauty about all this is that we can all support one another in different ways. If we can't do it financially, there's other ways we can support voluntarily, right? Or we can sharing this live, for example, supporting Annie and Christina, joining their events, inviting your friends. There's different ways that we can all support one another, and the importance of showing up. How important it is to see your friends in the audience, your network in the audience, they're supporting you. The love that you feel when you're here and live. We can't forget that, because we all want to be supported in ways that we may not even know sometimes. So today I'm getting support just being here. I was not planning to be here. Thank you, Annie, for sharing the invite. But my heart said come, and I'm glad I did, because there were some words that I needed to hear, and I want to thank you three for sharing.
Thank you. I think I really want to hear more from you about Connecting Impact Hub, because and haven't you been doing it now a year?
Yeah, it's been a little over a year.
Okay, over a year.
It's been, yes. So we got accepted in 2024. So yeah, a little over a year. But before it got approval for the 501c3, we were already doing, in the community volunteer work. What has happened in this time frame is I left Houston and I moved to California. And in California, I started a journey with the program where we launched a program called the Homeless Outreach Team. And that program, I got to bring everything about Connect Impact Hub, where we brought support on foot. So I had a whole team, not voluntarily, that's my corporate job, and got to train, or not train, but yeah, I actually did. I ended up training an entire team and other teams, and sometimes even different folks from other organizations. I got to show them skills and tools that they'll be able to use to help unhoused members in getting them the support that they need. So everything is done on foot, and anyone can do what I do, either voluntarily, or you can get a position where you will get paid to do what I do. So it's not something that you have to go to school for. No, if you have a passion for helping people, those skills will come. And if you want to learn how to help people, reach out to me. I would be happy to give you information on how to go about applying for government programs, how to go about getting connected to the right organizations to get housing support, to get mental health support. There's so many support here in the US that there are programs available in each state that can support our unhoused population. It's just finding the right people to help you.
Trying to unmute. I'm trying to unmute.
I don't
Sorry,
see you guys. I would like to see you guys.
You can now. We're back. You know, I want everyone to see you. It's a deliberate strategy. And I get to eat as well, and when my chair goes down automatically, yeah, I look less concerned. No, look, Marsha and I. Look, of course, I know that we're here together when you were, like you said, you were serving people, the homeless people, long before you started. You know, so you've done that for a long time.
Yeah. And recently I've had some opportunities come up where organizations would like me to participate in helping them start their own programs, which is such a blessing away from what I do. But with Connect Impact Hub, most of everything that I do is not funded. It's all voluntarily, and I'm providing the funding for the program currently. So my work, whatever I do, the services that I do pretty much speak for themselves. When we're out in the field, people know, they feel, and that's where the passion comes in. Really be in tune with what you love, because people will feel that. And so for me, that's what it's been, but it's heavy work. It's heavy. It's I've had my burnouts multiple times in this field. As a matter of fact, I recently experienced one, and I'm actually been going through it as of today. Where, you know, anxiety is a real thing. You know, mental health is real. You know, it happens. And so when you take on your work and you really feed into it because you love it so much, you somehow get intertwined in there. And that's something that I'm still working through.
Yeah. Again, so I'm glad you said that, because it is that love for what you do. It's that's the key, right? You know, if you have that love for what you do, the rest will follow. Oh, I almost assure you. You know, don't do like Marsha and, you know, burn yourself out. Don't do that. You know, that can be avoided, right? You know, rest well. But life will get in the way, right? Life will get. You know, life does. You know, we're still all doing life. You know, see, but you must find a way to do what you do, and like, maybe there is a joy. I'm trying to get people to understand. You need, you know, feel the joy of what you do. My laptop going. Lights out in England, Cyrus. I'm in the dark. My computer's still on. How's that work? How does that work? Someone tell me. And Christina, please, you know, do and say marvel at Marsha, please, and you feel free to talk to her.
All right. So thank you for sharing, Martha. So a couple of things you said. You know, utilizing the resources that are available that you have at your disposal to build your business. Sounds like this is something that you researched and did before you started and while you were at it, and you were able to share it with other organizations as well. So yeah, just look for resources. Don't assume that everything requires you, you know, a large amount of money to get started. So that's something really important. And now also, you know, doing something that you love, that you're passionate about. But that's a double-ended sword, because you can burn out easily. So when we are first starting out or during, you know, we're human beings. We're always gonna, you know, gonna feel on top of the world, and then the next day we just come crashing down. So, and that's really human. I don't think there is any human being on earth that doesn't go through it. So we need to learn some little acts to preserve our energy, or to channel the little energy that we have in something that is going to generate more energy. One way I do it is that when I know I'm having a day that are, it's really hard to move, or it's you're just not feeling it, I look for my ginormous to-do list that supersonic me wanted to achieve, and I just look at it and pick one thing that is gonna pick me up, right? That is gonna move the needle, either because it's gonna get me to talk to somebody that I'm gonna be collaborating, and so it's gonna give me a little extra pep in my step, right? Or maybe reach out to some potential prospects, or write something, a storytelling moment, write something about how you overcome these, or that time that I was going through something worse and I actually ended up getting on the other side. So those are all little things that, when we are running our own business, there is no limit. There is no 9 to 5. Some days you just go 14 hours, you don't even realize it. Usually are the days where you feel like if you're accomplishing a lot and you just don't want to stop. But then there are going to be days where you don't feel like doing 9 to 10. And that actually will deplete your energy more than working 14 hours, because you'll feel guilty and you'll feel like I'm not doing enough to build and grow my business. And then here you go, all the negative, limiting beliefs, negative voices, all those insecurities back again. And that's when you just go and you take that imperfect action that, make you feel like, if, okay, I took a couple of steps today, and you'll be surprised, whatever that action generates, whatever momentum, even if it's microscopic, will help you having a much better day the next day. Brands and businesses, especially online businesses, they're not built in one day, and they're not built out of one massive action. They're built, out of compounding force and energy. So even if that one day you do that one thing, but it's probably the most important thing, because it takes you to a collaboration. It takes you, to connecting with somebody you haven't spoken to before. So all those things will help you out. So thank you, Marta, for sharing that. Burnout is not something that solely belongs to the 9 to 5 or being unhappy in your job. Burnout is fear. It's fear that you're not doing enough. Fear that you're gonna stay at that level and not growing into the next. And speaking of that, it's okay for your brand to evolve. It's okay for your business to evolve. And he was sharing earlier that when he first started out, he was attracting, a client that felt comfortable enough and wanted to save, a little bit of money. And that's okay to be there, and then to change your pricing, or to go after a different type of client, or to serve maybe that original client in broader events such as these, right? It's okay. It doesn't mean that now you're becoming greedy and you're asking for more. It's just that your brand has evolved, your services have evolved, and now you can actually help people achieve the transformation with everything that you learned a lot faster, so that somebody else doesn't have to go through everything that you went through, but actually they start with a roadmap and their brand and business is established within 4 to 6 months.
I think you evolve too. That's the truth. I think we all evolve. Otherwise, we're stuck. We can't be stuck. Yeah. We have to grow. And many people don't. I wish I had known that on day one, because no one tells you, and you have no idea what's coming. You will grow. Your business will grow. You will change. Sometimes you have to pivot completely. Mm-hmm. I think something. So now I do books, for example. Yes, I still do some marketing stuff, but I do books and events primarily. And that just gives me joy every day. So I don't know, if someone says you've done it wrong, and I'm like, okay, I'll look at it. And then I look at it and realize I've done what I normally do, right? Someone tried it last week. Someone messaged me. It's like, aren't you going to apologize? I'm like, what for? And I said, so you came to me to do an event with you. I did an event with you. You got 2 prospects. What do you want? Why would I apologize? Oh, well, you didn't do it my way. I'm like, unlucky. I'm not going to apologize. Never. Good luck with that. Bye. No, so I mean, no, you need to get to that place where you have confidence in what you do and how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you create that thing that way. Sometimes you discover it by accident, by taking opportunities. Sometimes you narrow down to a niche. It's such a narrow niche where you do something very specific, like Marsha does what she does her way. Yes, I remember saying to her, you can't keep just helping those on the street. You have to find a different way. And she mentioned earlier, she's finding different ways, right? Some people, it's a journey, like you said, Christina. It's a journey. Go, Marsha, please feel free.
Yeah, it's so interesting, Annie, how the career is evolving. And how, because I'm out in the field, how here I thought that only the unhoused members were the ones looking at me, and all along I've had different program managers at different organizations and directors that are also looking at my work, that have been reaching out and are patiently waiting for me. And so it's just let your work will speak for itself, and everything else will come. It is very true. Everything else will come. So you nailed it, Annie and Christina. With that. Yep.
Well said. Let me work on Tracy. Hi, Tracy. Hello, beautiful people, and Annie. And I realized I wasn't the beautiful one, and then she covers herself by saying the handsome one. Okay, fine, Tracy. Now, Tracy's our podcast, our audiobook superstar. So I'm glad you're here. Say my editor, the one that I can't do without. My authors can't do without either. Miss Alexis, how are you doing? Glad you're here. Well, of course I'm going to invite you. This is my only show for today, right? And Denise, welcome as well. So how you doing? So this is something that I'm aware of, and I'm answering the call. Denise helps people who experience mental health trauma. So that much like Marsha's homelessness service, it can be quite emotional. It can be emotionally taxing. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. You have to put a lot of yourself into it, and good on you. And so trying to do what you do without getting emotionally caught up in the situation that you help with, it's not easy. But I think almost in every job, whatever your niche, if you love it as much as we're suggesting that you have to love what you do, it's an emotional thing, right? As Christina was talking about, you feel guilty because you think you can do more. And you can do more and more and more and more. We're human. You've got family, you have to spend some time with family. Don't get me wrong. Now, beyond that, of course, I think we need to find time to relax. I'm always minded about Sean's point the other day. So let's be careful not to confuse exhaustion with burnout. Exactly, Sean. Burnout is lack of or alignment, but I think there's also the lack of rest, Sean, that you talk about quite often. I think as entrepreneurs, we tend to see rest as if it's some sort of reward. Sean says rest is maintenance. Yes, Sean, it is. If you don't rest, you can't work. If you make yourself ill, you can't work 24/7. You have to give yourself time to rest, time to have fun, time to relax, time to do all the things you need to do, right? And build yourself up. Saying we don't find the confidence by just thinking it. You work on yourself. You give yourself time to develop yourself. Time again. Get a mentor. Get a coach. Work on your mind. These are all things that we can do beside the business. The business is one part of our lives. Make it all your life. I don't know how it's gonna work. It may work. No, but no. So don't get yourself ill, right? Christina saying, Denise. Oh, Alexa says, Christina, you're correct. One action definitely helps, right? Do something. But let's delight in what we do. I'll say that whatever line of business you're in, my friends, celebrate your action. Celebrate. Thinking time is action. Trust me. A lot of people do without thinking, Christina. They just do, right? Keep doing. You have to reflection, time to think, time to celebrate your wins. Build all that into your day. It's part of the things that you have to do as a business person, right? Like I said, as you build, you must also work on being sustainable. I can't say the word otherwise. So I guess that means being able to carry on, long term, right? Doing more, not just do it once. No, so I'd be able to repeat, rinse and repeat, which is what business comes to. I laugh. Go on, Christina. I laugh because the irony.
Yeah, rinse and repeat. Yeah, there is a couple of points I see here from the comments. One was from Denise. If you can bring it back up, please.
Okay. This one.
Yes. So answering the call without getting emotionally caught up in the situation we help with, right? So we start out, especially when we're offering a service, most of us that start this type of business, we know that it's a lot of work. And if we didn't know, we're going to find out. And then if we stick around, it means that we are okay with it, right? So there's nothing wrong with feeling emotion, but we just have to turn it into it's empathy, basically. So maybe not the emotion necessarily being visible, but still using just being feeling empathy, because empathy will show your emotions, but in a different way. So people will come to you for help because they can sense that you're here for help, to help somebody genuinely, and that you actually enjoy what it is that you're doing, and you find the joy in it. But it is hard at the beginning. At the beginning we want to help anybody, and how many times somebody has approached you saying, can you do this pro bono, right? And I'm pretty sure that a lot of times you said, yes, I'll help you out. But then, unfortunately, at some point, there is a limit to how many of those you can do. But if somebody felt comfortable enough to ask you for that, it's not because they thought you would just, yes, go for it, but because they felt that they perceived you as somebody that has empathy. So empathy can also be a superpower. Then the last comment, Annie, that we were discussing.
I think building on that, the last comment. Okay, I think scope creep is what I call it. Overreach is another way of looking at it, right? So I mentioned doing your niche just now. I think we need to be very mindful of how we help. We can't do everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not against diversifying. Cyrus, for example, he makes music. Whether it's for podcasts, he does podcasting. He makes videos. He does AI. I'm saying he knows what his things are. I will help you write a business plan if you pay me enough money and I'm interested. I want to work with you, right? But I don't want to do social media posts most days. I just don't. I can, but I don't want to. I'm saying we need to be very wary and very careful not to say yes to everything just for money, right? Go on, Christina.
Oh yeah, I found a comment that I want to comment on. It's working on sustainability. So when you envision your business and you put it together, is it sustainable? Meaning, can you keep up the effort, right? Or are you actually available during the time that your prospects need you to be available? Can you offer your services even at a certain rate? And does that make it, does it make sense for you? Or sustainability in terms of, okay, I know that it's going to take me some time. I know that is going to be a journey, but along before it actually sustains me. So these are not the moments when we give up. These are the moments when we stop and we reflect and we ask ourselves, okay, what did I learn so far? How did I get here? What did I like? Where were my highest moments? And how can I get more of those highest moments? And how can I scale it? I think you're muted, Danny.
Yeah, I think it is. It is finding those, let's say, those things that you can do that you enjoy doing. Maybe that you have some skill in. Maybe that you can help people with. So it's easy. I think it's easy to say yes to everything, and most things are not sustainable. I think we just have to find out. Sometimes I'm a whore. I admit it. Pay me enough. Pay me enough. I'll sing and dance for you. I'm saying if you pay me what I want, I'll do what you ask. But there's some things I just can't do. In my line of work, Christina, SEO, no. Web design, no. I refuse. I will call an expert like Cyrus to help me. Are you there? So I'm not going to solicit and try and beat my head myself up because I can't do that thing. I'm saying now I'm very clear. Every day I only do what I enjoy. If I don't enjoy it, I'm not doing it. Because thankfully now I make enough money from what I enjoy. There was times when I didn't. I'm saying we just have to be very mindful to look after ourselves, our energy, our happiness. Maybe it's all that then feeds into what we deliver to our customers. And then we'll get better at doing the things we actually do like. That's the trick, right? Alexis, I can't keep up. Like, what was Alexis saying? You're hitting all the high points, the important ones. Evolution and transformation of one's own brand, pricing, and what we offer. That's exactly where it's at, right? It's all those things. It's all those things. Right. Is growth equal to success? I suppose so. But there's different types of growth. There's personal growth. There's growth in your business as well. They're two separate things, if you ask me. They might, meet where Sarah said that point of fear meets inner critic. Yeah. So we can grow personally, and then our business, then give more to our business, give more to our clients. But I think we can grow and we can be successful only if we grow. I don't think we can be successful if we don't grow. We have to evolve. We have to learn. We have to move on, right? But I think we have to appreciate our growth even without this kind of success. That's really what I'm trying to get at. Because we're learning, we're improving, we're becoming. And sometimes we don't see that until way down the line. We don't see the success that reflects that. Whether that's income, whether it's, what we do, how we do it. But I suppose every day to me is every day we do what we do is grow. It's a chance for us to grow. Even when we make those mistakes, Christina, even when we do things imperfectly, we learn something. I think we need to celebrate those because I think that's when we really move ourselves forward. Again, in my business, I remember doing Paulette's book. The time I got to the first book, the time I got to version number 9, and it still wasn't right. I had learned nine things better. Which more than 9. I learned across all 9 books. No, so number 10 was perfect. I agree. Then from there on in, I had a formula to work with. But during the growth phase, book number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8. No one saw the growth. I didn't see the growth either. I say, when I give yourself the space, that's what it means to be imperfect. Eventually, you will learn, you will improve, you will grow. But it's not, it's not one moment I'm rubbish, next moment I'm great. That's not how it works. Sometimes it's just you put in the work in, you are, and the results come later on. Give yourself that chance, my friends. So Denise says, I think sustainability in the situations. The lack of sustainability in handling situations causes burnout as well. Burnout is a hard one because, like Christina mentioned earlier, it's very hard to find that balance. It's very hard to find that 9 to 5 because when you're your own boss, 9 to 5 is out the window. Forget that. But you can work 10 to 6, 10 to 7, 11 to 12. I'm saying it's the same hours. It's just moving to what suits you, right? We need to find a way that we enjoy working, but we also rest. We must. If you don't rest, it's hard work. Your emotions take the night. Your emotions play with your mind even more, Christina. When if you don't rest, if you're exhausted, yes, you make more mistakes, but also if you're not thinking clearly, nothing good happens. I think we need to handle situations better, and maybe not react with anxiety, not react with fear. And I find a place to be confident in ourselves. That's what I've had to do. That's why now I can look like and I've got it together. I wish I did. Have you got it together? Have you got it all together, Christina? Are you perfect?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You got it all together, right?
I use duct tape. Super strong.
Yeah, that's not supposed
try
to
to
be,
match
right?
the color, and if you put a couple of filters, nobody can tell a thing. So,
That's what Annie used to use to keep his hair together.
No, we try, right? Well, I think this takes us back to Marshall's point, which is the friends you have. I think now we need to leverage our friends. So because people, it's rare that we're the only ones on this journey, on any journey. So talk to you. I think we need to talk to our friends because you find solace, you find empathy, you find understanding, you find advice and tips. Some might want to collaborate with you to move your business forward in a big way and actually get involved. But so don't ignore the friends whether that's on LinkedIn or even in real life. That real life thing, people them on street, them ones. Talk to people, right? I said, and maybe saying that I would say last I'll say really is we need to get a mentor or a coach. I think when feeling lost, which I felt for a very long time in business, having a coach helps because you realize you're not totally crazy. And the things you're struggling with can be, you can learn. That's no other way of saying that. I've learned so much from all my coaches. That I probably won't be here without them. And so don't suffer alone. Get a coach. Talk to a coach. Cyrus, please. What do you want to add?
I was gonna say, a while back, I was asked a question. Some 17, 18-year-old guy just asked me that question, and he said to me, "I want to ask a question," and I was like, "Yeah, he's gonna ask me a question about PlayStation or, I don't know, Xbox or whatever." But boy, oh boy, did he prove me wrong or what? So he asked me, "What's the difference between emotions and feelings?" It took me. I said to him, I don't know. You need to let me do some research. That was such a difficult question, right? Shocked me to the core, and it's not about the dictionary.
Is there a difference?
Yes, there is
Yes.
a massive difference between the two, and it's not about the difference, the dictionary difference between the two either. So
Mm.
basically, let me paint you a picture. Basically, um, so try to focus on your both hands. Here's the answer: you can't. So can you focus on two things at the same time? No, you can't. It has to be either 49% to 51%, or it has to be like 90% to 10%. It can never be 50%. You can't focus on two. That's how the brain works. By the way, one of the things that follows the brain, the eye, also functions that way. You can't focus on two things at the same time. You have to lose focus on one and refocus on another. Okay, that's how it functions. That's how the body functions. Don't ask me; it's not my fault. Okay, I just have one of those. I have a body, and 90% of the time, I don't even know how it works. And the other 10%, it doesn't even work. So, anyway, the point is, you can't focus on two things at the same time. And I said I mentioned the concept of focus because emotions are chemical reactions to the stimuli. You're a psychologist and you know it better than that could ever know. Um, that those the emotions are like reactions and thoughts boxed off, waiting to be opened. So once you open it, you feel it, right? So as an example, Christina is being kind to me, and that box called appreciation. I'm filled with appreciation, right? So that's one of the feelings that like one of the emotions that I can feel. So emotion is when you haven't felt it yet. When you feel it, it's not an emotion anymore. It is a feeling because it's thought and focus on that particular box. So you focus on that particular concept, then you feel it, right? So that's the difference between a feeling and an emotion. Um, so when it comes to doing business, I tend to do business with people who are capable of feeling all sorts of emotions, but they are highly trained and highly capable of choosing their emotions because people feel things, and one of them is being offended, as an example. There's a good saying in English: people choose to be offended, right? So the feelings that we feel, whether we believe it or not, whether we actively agree that we choose them, we do. We choose them. So if I say something that triggers you, that that is not me triggering you, that's you triggering you because you choose to be triggered. You choose to allow it to take over. You allow your reaction to take over the control and take over the reign, right? So um, what you choose to focus on brings more of as well. That's how it works. I am very sorry. I'm talking too much. That's where I'm going to leave it at.
Again, most people would define emotions as feelings. That's why I think then they get stuck. But I love your explanation, Cyrus. You know, it's a good reminder for me that yes, it's psychologist, but I can't forget most of the science stuff and work on what reality tells me. John, welcome. I haven't seen you for a while. And of course, everyone's having a marvelous Monday, I hope. Yes, no one said no, so that's good, right? You know, the wonderful Monday. Tuesday is next. We're getting there. Welcome, Kenny. This conversation sounds so delectable, scrumptiously, deliciously, edibly tasty. Good. Yes. Sugar did it, Kenny. Yeah, you always gonna come out with your lovely quotes. I swear you got the cut and paste. Denise reminds us today is National Mentorship Day. Yeah, get a mentor. Get a mentor, seriously. You know, learn from someone who's been there before. I say that because mentors will tell you things that you've never thought about. Get Christina as a mentor. Get Marsha as a mentor. Those who've been there to do what you want to do. Don't just call them because you want to talk to them. I'm saying because you want them to show you the ropes. Someone who can show you the ropes, the journey they've been on in your industry, in your sector, as an entrepreneur. They're waiting gold. And mentorship is free as well. Go on, Christina.
Oh, yes, sure. So I wanted to talk about a couple of things. One, when we talk about burnout, we should really try to figure out where it's coming from, because it's very easy to assign a name to a feeling or a way, the way we're feeling. But we say, okay, that's burnout. I'm not feeling it today. That's burnout. But the power is in finding out why. Why am I feeling this way? Why do I feel like giving up today? Why am I low on energy today? Once you find out the reason why you are in that state, you can pick a couple of small actions to address that and to lift up your energy. In what we do, when we run our businesses, it's all about energy. We need ourselves, full of energy on a daily basis, or at least have 3 to 4 hours where we have a good strong burst to be able to move forward in our business, grow them, and evolve. So burnout is not a terrible case of burnout and a disease or something that you cannot get out of. It's something actually that is really common, but we need to address it immediately. So first thing to do is why? What is it? Why am I feeling like this? What am I procrastinating? Am I procrastinating the act, or am I procrastinating the result? Or is it something else that is making procrastinate my life altogether, even the act of going out and shopping for groceries? And a lot of it is linked really strongly to confidence. So when we are developing and running a business online and here on LinkedIn, a lot of those insecurities, they come from not knowing or not understanding what it is that you need to run your business. And this happened to me when I first started out. AI just come out, and everybody was talking about it. Not everybody was using it, but when it was about 4 years ago, people were starting to use it. Some people were completely against it. It was big news. But what was happening is that at first I felt, oh, what is it? I need to understand it, because now everybody's posting on LinkedIn, grow 10 times faster in your business by using AI. And all of a sudden I realized that even the clients I was working with, they were terrified of their business ideas being no longer valid because AI was going to do it. So now the service and the offers that they had in mind were no longer applicable because now AI was going to take over. So, or even I need to run a business, I need an app. And I need this website with the downloadable app and all that. And I don't even know where to start. And I need to hire a developer and all that. Sometimes you overcome the fears, but literally finding out exactly what does it entail to have a system, an app, or what AI can do in the case of some of my past clients, right? And you'll find out that all these things that seem like impossible to master are actually easier than ever. So I had a client that needed an app, and then they realized they really didn't need an app. They really needed a Google form. And when I suggested that, they said, I don't know how to make one. And we made one together the same day, because I got news for you. Google Forms, apps, today, you don't need any code. It's just like filling almost an old-time Excel sheet with the data you need. And then, technology does the rest for you. So if anything is stopping you, blocking you because you think you haven't mastered this yet, it's not really your thing. At work, you're at your IT department doing that, your marketing department doing that. And now to start my business, I need to be set up exactly like everything in my old job was set up. Think again, because the power is not in you doing everything, but in you discovering or knowing enough to be able to cover one day if you were alone in your business, or to be able to hire the right person to do the job. So the way you get out of all this is really by taking this imperfect action that we are talking about. You need a simple system, and you just heard me saying I can create something like that on Google Forms. Just look it up, see what the hell it is about. Ask Google Gemini, how do I make my first Google form? I wanted to do this for me. And you get step-by-step instructions. And really try to do something that you've never done before as an exercise, maybe creating your own, Google form to collect emails or something like that. And when you finish, which will take you less than an hour, you'll feel like, oh wow, I can do this. I can create one for this part of my business. I can create one for this other thing. So try something that scares you, or at least try to find out what exactly is that you're scared of. Do you want to add anything, Annie? Muted.
Marsha, talk to us. Save me talking.
I'm actually, I have to get going, but I do want to share something really quick about what Christina just shared, as it's been coming up. Many times when we're facing something where we'll ask questions to ourselves, why this, why that, why this and that, right? And that word why is not a positive word. And so today I learned, so I'm going to pass it on, is to rephrase that why to what am I feeling at this time? So, so be nurturing and warm to yourself as you are in your work. And make sure you prioritize your self-care. I'm going to keep talking about that because I'm on that right now. But Christina, warm hugs, and Annie and Cyrus, and thank you for having me today.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. As I said, I look forward to the next update. But no, we'll catch up soon anyway. So
yes,
I
definitely.
love to this go. Thank you so much for coming on stage today. Look, your self-care is more important than people realize, right? If you're not well, you can't do anything. You can't help anyone. Can't make any money either. So it sounds silly, but and yes, some of us, it can look like people work around the clock. I don't work around the clock. I have to rest. And every day I prioritize spending time with my family, my son especially. That's why I prioritize exercising. I'd love to play my PS4 more, my game console more. Of course I would. That's the only thing. But the problem with that is that if I start playing that, I'm going to be there for the next 3 days. I got work to do. So I just don't touch it until I have 3 days. So I will make time to go back to it. So again, if it comes back to the point, Christina, it's not technical things. So let me tell you a story. You're talking about the simple things that we don't know. See, I remember the first month, and after probably 3 years in business. Then I started employing people. I remember it wasn't 3 years. No, it was literally about 4 months in. I worked at an office as staff, right? Paid, the end of the month came. I'm big boss man, so you have to pay your staff, right? Money's in the account. Pay slips come from an accountant, Christina, and it says what they get paid, right? And so staff were looking at me across the desk saying, "We haven't been paid yet." I'm like, "Accountant will pay you, don't worry." Right? Because in my other companies, I never asked, how do you do, who does payroll, who does what. Admin just gave us time slips, pay slips, and then got paid automatically. I'm like, wow, that's how I got used to it, right? So I'm like, don't worry, the accountant will sort it. no, I mean what they're saying. I still haven't been paid any. I'm like, so eventually I have to call the accountant and say, what's going on? The money's in the account. They got the pay slips. Why haven't you paid them? He's like, that's not how it works. You have to press the button in. Log into the bank and press the button. I never knew how my charity and my other companies work. I never knew about payroll. I never knew what it meant to actually pay people in your business. But I learned, in that moment, I learned a lesson, right? There's some things that we have to learn, and they're not that hard. We just have to learn the process of the business. Now, many things in a big corporate we don't think about. But they're not that complicated. We can, as you just said, Chris, creating simple processes, simple steps. We can all do it. We have to. That's how you run a business, really. But I can still laugh at myself not knowing how payroll really works because no one ever told me. And I was the boss of a charity for a couple of years. I never asked a question. Who does what? That also, of course, my second the admin press the buttons. It never crossed my mind once, right? But many things in business are like that, right? We'll learn as we go. No, the most important thing is just bring yourself, bring your energy, bring your passion, and maybe don't wait for the big day. Christina says this all the time. Start. Serve people, even if you're beside your current job. Do what you're gonna do in your business. That's a side hustle. Test it out. See how it really works. Become confident at it. That way, the day you make the leap, you're not giving up everything to come start something new. You did something that you've already been doing, whether it's in your spare time, at the weekends or evenings. Build that confidence. I think that would help you lose some of the fear that comes with doing serving people. Doing a small scale, ramp it up. When you're in business and you can turn it up, right? You need more customers, higher revenue, and so on and so forth. That's my final take today, my friends. Cyrus, what do you want now? What do you want to leave us with? Mr. Cyrus, are you still there? 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yeah, I was looking for the mute button.
This is why I was counting to 5, and I could have said 3, but go on, Cyrus. Now, what do you want to leave us with today, my friend?
Yeah, so I said I said what I had to say up tonight, and I'm going to leave everyone with this. I'm grateful for being in your presence and learning from you guys, and thank you for teaching me stuff. When I woke up this morning, I didn't know the things I learned in this live event. When I go to bed, I hope I wake up tomorrow and learn more. And I'm gonna be grateful for that. No, honestly, that's one of the things. Being grateful. It's one of the things that's a little bit underappreciated, I think.
No, I say, of course, I think grateful for being able to do what we do. That's why I laugh, right? It's an important thing. I will also say, Cyrus, of course, we're grateful to you because you're part of people who share the wonderful insights and genius at our events. So thank you for being an amazing human and a true superstar.
Thank you. I've been accused of worse, but
no, you do help us learn. You really do. So. So I love those who give everyone the credit, but I want you to take the credit yourself because you're all that those people who do add to our conversations. Otherwise, ourselves, right?
And before I go, I just wanted to say, in every live event, I'm going to start doing this more often. I do it in my own live events, but I'm going to do it here as well. In every live event, I appreciate one person, and that one person tonight is Alexis, because she's been a great source of positive change in our life. I mean, at least people who are actually publishing a book, they need someone like her and I'm grateful you introduced her to me, and she's a good one. If you guys are trying to publish a book, um, for the Amazon side of it and getting the bestseller, Annie is the man. But for editing it and rearranging it, and making it well presented, and making it logically make sense in terms of arrangements and the chapters, etc., etc. Talk to Alexis, and she's a great person. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you, guys.
No, thank you. I totally agree. It's eventually, what we all learn in business maybe is that it takes a team. You can't do it all alone. Eventually you're gonna have to build a team, right? That's a whole other line of imperfect actions that you're gonna have to learn from. How do you build a team? How do you manage a team? How do you carry yourself? But so then Alexis is a crucial part of my publishing business. I can't do what I do without her. Otherwise, Amazon would just keep saying mistake, mistake, mistake. You can't publish. Mistake, errors, typos. And if you haven't published a book, then you probably won't know. Amazon gives you one chance to notice the mistakes, right? They will point at the errors in the first drafts that you give them. After that, they won't tell you where the errors are necessarily. They're it's full of errors. Then you have to go and find the errors. Alexis helps me to avoid that minefield. So Sarah, thank you so much. I do love what she does, and I truly appreciate her. But you are all geniuses, and look, everyone that's been here today, everyone who does what they do, Denise, and you're my star of the day, Denise. Thank you so much for your time, wisdom, and kindness. Indeed, you are the star of the show, Denise. I always love having you here. And Tracy, anyone who gives us a minute of their time, I take, right? Kenny as well. But Christina, you're the biggest star of the show, right? It is your show.
It is. Well, it's not my show. I'm a guest. But yeah, what I would like to.
I told you, I'm not having it. You're not a guest. You are the star of the show.
All right. What I would like to close with and share with people is so most of us are here on LinkedIn, and you can apply these to any of the other platforms that you're part of, but really try to utilize the tools that you have at your disposal as much as possible. So say you want to offer a service on LinkedIn. Well, first of all, go on your headline and say what this service is that you want to help with. Who are you helping? Who are you guiding? Who do you want to guide? And just make the statement. It doesn't have to be a complicated headline at first. So just something simple, and then you can perfect it as time goes. Try to do that and talk about the transformation that you're seeking to offer others, because that's usually what people look for. They don't care about the titles you give yourself, but they look for the transformation that they're going to receive by taking advantage of one of the services that you offer. Then the very next step I would do is, again, start talking about the transformation, because this transformation is the business that you're putting together. So start in your about page and really express with all the feelings and passion that you have what this transformation is that you want to guide somebody else achieve. And then use LinkedIn tools. It might not be something that you use 100% to generate leads on LinkedIn, but just go ahead and open your service page on LinkedIn. It's free. So say what type of service. You can select from a menu. Say what it is, say what skills are associated with it. And if you want, you can even put a price on it, or you can just say, leave it alone, and people can ask you. It doesn't mean that the next day you should look it up because you're going to have a client. But I actually done a lot of business using the LinkedIn service page when I first started. So that was my first clients when came from the English, from the LinkedIn service page. And one thing that is happening right now is that every time you update your LinkedIn profile, actually LinkedIn is taking notice. So if you update your headline, even if it's one simple tweak, or you're about end your service page and then you reshare your service page, you get a little bit of a boost. You get a lot of visibility, and then be consistent. That's actually your first steps through some guidance for your own self towards the goals that you're trying to achieve, or the brand that you're trying to build for yourself, because you're making a statement what it is that you want to do. Then you're talking about it on your about page. Then you're turning it into a service. One thing that you can really help somebody with doesn't have to be a 6 months program or something big. It can be just 1 or 2 hours of your time where you can help somebody with the transformation. And then, start sharing. Tell somebody, do one of those celebrating that are open for business as of today. Tell your LinkedIn friends or your other social media friends that you did this. You'll be surprised. The first introductions will come from your very community, from your own community. You as a business owner will have to learn how to find and connect with people on your own. But a LinkedIn community that you cultivate is really powerful. So it will really help you with your visibility and from with referrals. So share with others, share what you're doing, raise your hand in one of these lives and just say what you are and what you do. Comments, help somebody that is asking for help with something that you know how to do really well, and just say something that might help them right then and then. They might not become your client today, but they will remember you, and perhaps within a month you'll be on a call with them. So that's my advice. These are the imperfect actions that I'm talking about, and you can do one a day, or half for one, half in the morning and the other half in the afternoon. And it compounds. You're muted, Danny.
I'm wondering out loud to myself. Kenny says sharing is caring. So Christina, please do tell our friends how you help. Sarah, so I'll let her know. I'd love for you to do the same. I think our friends need to know how we help, and that way they can do that connecting with us thing. And you kind of always go in the comments, and as Christina says, to answer the questions that people ask, right, or respond to comments. No, so I'm looking at behind you, Christina. That claim it back, right?
Claim it daily. Yeah, right. I need to make it smaller. So it's duct tape.
They claim it daily. How long did it take you to come up with that?
Here's the thing. I come up with that years ago when I was putting together this business. I was keeping a journal that became a little booklet that I made called Claim Your Space, and that got attached to it. And one of the reason why now it is actually a daily blog called Claim It Daily is because, again, the duct tape story. I had this weekly newsletter called Reveal Your Niche, but I didn't have time to create a banner for it or a graphic for it. So I just had my Claim Your Space logo that I kept attaching with it. And, before somehow, people actually liked it, and people kept asking me either about the book or about this concept of claiming things, claiming your space online. And then I decided to turn it into a mini blog, which is something that I do actually. I help people create little strategies made out of tiny steps to be able to develop their brand and their online business. And it can really start with an idea, something that you know really well, something that you're really passionate about. Yeah. If you keep talking about it, it can become a business and you can monetize it.
I totally agree. Now, the reason I ask is, I think many of us will find the words to describe what we do in time. It's not going to be there on day one. Sometimes it is. Like say the Claim It Daily was in your mind on day one of your business, Christina. But I think we grow into these things. We grow into our sayings, our mantras. I remember when I started off, "We make you famous." I had that from day one almost. In truth, I didn't even know what it meant, and I know it meant something. What it meant to me at the time when I started was, I want to put you on TV and radio. I want to make you a household name. That's what famous was. But it didn't take it took me on to maybe a couple of years ago to really realize it's not just TV and radio. It's everything I do. Hence the books, hence the events. Are you me? I say that, but no, I think we have to give ourselves time to, one, find the words that describe what we're really trying to do. And then also we have to find the process, the service to deliver on our promise. That takes time. You're going to start imperfectly, but you will learn and grow into it. I promise you. I remember a friend of mine saying to me, "Stop saying we'll make you famous." I'm like, no, I refuse. I'm going to carry on. And thank goodness I did. So it wasn't about what that friend thought. I'm saying it's what I had in my soul. You have something in your soul, my friends. Eventually, it will come out. And if you think it, write it down. Start sharing it. Refine your message. That is how you will build a business eventually. How do we find you, Christina? LinkedIn's your thing, right? Or
Yes.
what?
I also have a website, christinasagato.com, but it takes you straight to LinkedIn and to my booking link here on LinkedIn through Calendly. So that's it. I want to say something. It was kind of cool what you said. You had your I'll make you famous from day one. So on day one, my first thing that I put on my headline was builder of dreams, because I was building my own dreams and I wanted to help people build their dreams. I still have it there. I just moved it down on the headline now that I understand SEO a little better. But the evolution was that I realized that I can help you build your dream. I can help myself build my own dream, but we all have to claim it. So it's there, and you claim it through those imperfect actions. Even if it's tiny today, you didn't do anything today except for coming to this event for the last couple of hours. Now just go do one small thing.
Yeah, whatever that is to you, right? And so celebrate doing it, please, and celebrate doing it. Cyrus, how do we find you? How do you help? Cyrus?
You can find me on LinkedIn. Please contact me if you have a book idea, if you have a podcast idea, and if you've mentally prepared yourself to start your podcast. I'm the right person for you. If you've decided to start your podcast, what the podcast that we create, because they are fine tuned, they help you sell more in your business or in your service that you're providing. So that's the whole purpose of that Whisper Boy. We are a marketing agency based in the UK, and I'm the proud CEO of this international organization based in Manchester, United Kingdom. About the scale of operations that we have here, we're dealing with 37 brands now, and we have wine brands, we have book brands, we have different types of brands. If you're interested, please go to our website and you'll find them there. What I wanted to discuss with Christina is that one of these days I'm going to have to discuss my wine brand with you, because the brand is named after Turin in Italy. It's called Vino. It's called Vino Torino. And I definitely need to discuss that with you and pick your brain on that.
Please do. Please do. I should be more than happy to have a conversation with you. Like she says, builder of brands. That's what she doing. That's what she does, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I have to have the conversation. Thank you so much, my friends. Look, you find me on LinkedIn at best of times. Yes, I'm on the other platforms, but I tend to be on LinkedIn more than anything else. Because it's where I spend time, right? It's where my friends are. I'm trying to share my LinkedIn profile. I think this is something I think we need to be doing going forward, because I think even those on replay, they want to know how to get hold of us, right? So we need to become versed at sharing, making it easy for them. Look, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for spending your evening with us. I really can't thank you enough. So Christina and I are back in 2 weeks from now. Now I've got a new dongle that works, Christina. It works on the road. I'm looking. I think 651 megabytes per second, right? That's ridiculously fast for a dongle. That's amazing. So I can do events on the road. Yay!
We'll be back to normal by then.
Yeah, no, I belong. I may be home, but I may be off again. So I've got a couple of months of being on the road, but I'm going home tonight, and then we'll see. But I'll have to go away.
Funny. You dongling it like it's 2010, bro.
It's well good, Sarah, you don't know how long I've been trying to find a dongle that works, right? All the other ones don't work; they're too slow. So I can do messages, but I can't do events until now. I don't really do events on the road. I just can't unless I find somewhere with fixed internet. The dongle actually works and gives me fast speed, better than my house. I have to sing their praises, right? Look, my friends, connect with me. So I'd love to find out what you do. I'd love to learn more about how you help, and that way, if you can help me, I can ask you for your help, and if I can help you, you know what to do, right? So thank you so much, everyone. Do enjoy your night, Christina. Thank you for being a star as always, Cyrus. We can't do the world without you, right? Thank you so much, everyone.
It's always
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
So I'm going to play Cyrus's latest video to take us out. You're not going to see us again, my friends. We're gone. Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone. All right, let's play that.
Nobody will call. The words inside you could change it all. Sit down and write it. Don't try to fight it. Your truth is a spark. Go on, ignite it. Order your thoughts. Make chaos sing. Turn your pain into something that'll bring hope to many, light to a few. There's a book in you. There's a book